The 880th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com and use promo code MMA SGPN.
Heidi ho, degenerinos, and welcome to the MMA Gambling Podcast of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, episode 880, I believe. Is that correct?
That's
is that
right. You're on it. You got
correct. Episode 880, and this is going to dedicate it to. Sorry, I'm doing this on the fly. I'm not prepared. Who should I dedicate it to? I should dedicate it to someone on YouTube.
Dark Scarecrow's usually saying nice things.
Dark Scarecrow. This goes out to you. You have a good name as well. I am the Berserker, Jeff Fox. The other voice you hear, the one and only Daniel Gumby Vreeland. We got some UFC this week, and I think I already said this on air another episode. But right when I was looking at this event and thinking, hey, this isn't a bad fight card for UFC Apex, the main event fell off. So half of the main event fell off to be exact. I still would argue this is not the worst we've seen at the UFC Apex.
No, they've got some fun fights in there. There's a couple of prospects who I'm hyped on. There's a couple of dudes who are like weirdly in an exciting fight, whether they're miserable or really good. You know, like the middleweight fight we're going to talk about on today's episode. My goodness, it's filled with guys who just, whether they're winning or losing, find a way to entertain you for the most part. Yeah. So I'm like excited about that fight. And, you know, like I said, there's some prospects on here who are worth circling.
Yes, for sure. But today is all about the prelims. That's what we're going to cover. A lot of wide lines, unfortunately. I guess unfortunately only if you're on the negative side of the line. If you're on the dog side, then good for you. Last week was a good week. We didn't really cover last week's UFC because I hadn't seen it until a few days after. Last week was a good week to be in on dogs. Gumby hit 1, 2, 3. You hit 3 in a row.
and 4 in total.
4 in total. 239, 166, 280. He hit in a row. Then 130.
And those were the numbers when we recorded on Wednesday too. And then if you got in on them Wednesday, the closing line value was not on your side because they all closed over 200. And I think Davey Grant at some books was 3-1.
Really?
Yeah, I think he got up in the 300s.
Fantastic. Gumby knew, of course. What to take. So I didn't get any prelim fights right. Oh my god, that was so bad.
Did you get every single one wrong?
Every single one wrong. I got the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, first 6 fights wrong, and then I went.
Oh no, there were 7 prelims, so you got one.
Right. Okay. And I went. I got the last 4 fights right. But yeah, the prelims kill me. I went 5-7. Gumby went 8-4. Gumby is like $600 ahead of me, almost $700 ahead of me now, which is rare air for you, Gumby.
It was a good night.
It was good night. There's still plenty of time, as Gumby said. Hopefully, starting with today's episode, I can claw my way back into this one. Before we dive into the episode, reminder: Sports Gambling Podcast is back with the 32 NFL team previews. They're also bringing back the phrase that pays. Each episode, they'll give out one word of a 32-word phrase. Submit the phrase for a chance to win $1,000 circa future. Did you hit all your fancy plays or 2 out of 3?
Oh, I hit remember. All of them.
Yeah,
obviously.
okay.
I had every single damn thing. Yeah, we cleaned up. Also, because you just came off that ad read, make sure you go back and listen to the Cowboys preview, which happened today just a moment ago, and may or may not have had a familiar face on it.
Oh, you're on it. Nice. I was going to say there's no way they said anything nice about the Cowboys.
No, it was pretty funny. Like Ryan was like, I'm going to be objective this whole time. I, for a second, believed him. And then he just kept backing up on them winning any games.
Any games, really? They're going to go 0-16.
He went 0-17, yeah.
Wow, 0-17, right. Wow, fantastic. We got a Giants fan and a Eagles fan hosting the mothership. So, yeah, Gumby was in enemy territory, to say the least. So, one place not enemy territory, UFC Apex. We've been there so much. It's our home away from home, just like it was for Jamal Hill. It's now called UFC Fight Night Tyra versus Park. Park being the new addition. It's going down Saturday the 2nd, 6 p.m. start time. That's the fights we were talking about first, the 6 p.m. ones that are on ESPN Plus. That's not listed as ESPN as well. ESPN for the main card. I'm not sure if ESPN Plus is on, or if the prelims are on ESPN or ESPN Plus. You Americans figure it out. It's going to be on Sportsnet up here in Canada, I'm sure. All right, we got the order is a little different than Topology's order because we've had some fights being juggled around. We're starting off with the women's strawweight bout. Piera Rodriguez. She is from Venezuela. She's up against Ketlen Souza from Brazil. And let's break her down by telling you about Souza first. Esquindadina. Gumby?
Tiny queen.
Little hothead, I think is what it
that
means.
wasn't it. Yeah.
Little hothead. It came up as hot-headed, but we know Ina means
little hothead.
Little hot-headed, yes. She's 15-5, eight knockouts, 2 submissions. She's been knocked out twice, submitted twice. 2-2 in the UFC. Loss, win, win, loss is the pattern for her in the UFC. She used to fight up at 125 and up at 135. She went 2-0 in Invicta and was a champion there, so that's impressive. Also a regional champ. 2 years younger than Rodriguez, more active landing strikes. She has outstruck her opponents in the UFC by 0.46 strikes per minute. She's at plus 199. La Fiera, the beast, is Rodriguez. 10-2 with 5 knockouts. She's been submitted once. 3-2 in the UFC. 1-2 though over her last 3, but she did win her last bout. Probably saved her UFC career by winning her last bout. 1-0 Contender Series. She was the LFA champ. So LFA champ versus the Invicta champ here. Used to fight at 125. She's got a better striking differential than Souza. She's outstruck her opponents by 0.77 strikes per minute. So striking hasn't really been the issue for these ladies. Grappling stats better than Souza, minus 200. We'll let Gumby kick it off.
I'm going to start off with an underdog here. I'm going to go Ketlen Souza out the gate. I think the reason for me is just like the hands are way better than Piera Rodriguez. Like if you watch her fights in Invicta, or I mean, like watch her fight when she was in where were they fighting? The Sphere, when she fought Yasmin Jauregui. I mean, like she dropped Jauregui. I know that one goes down as a rear naked choke, but it was really her hands that did the work. She stunned Jauregui, jumped right on her, got the finish. And like her hands have kind of always been impressive. And the thing that's cost her a couple of UFC fights is, the wrestling defense isn't always great, right? Like it's not always there. And that's clearly what Piera Rodriguez wants to do in this fight, right? Piera Rodriguez is going to shoot 100 takedowns. But the big problem I have with Piera Rodriguez in general is just like, she'll score a bunch of takedowns, but like she's not doing anything when she's there, and she's not particularly good at keeping people there either. Like if you look at a lot of her fights and how many takedowns you got, you're like, oh, she's got a ton of takedowns, but then you're like, but like how in a 15-minute fight did she record 8 takedowns if she didn't just like let the person back up all the time? And like I think in this fight, as long as we see Ketlen Souza keep getting back up, and she's got a good jiu-jitsu game, so I could see her getting the underhooks. I could see her working back to her feet. Like as long as she keeps getting back up every time she gets taken down, I think the judges are going to remember the hammer she's landing over like the 35 seconds of control time every time Piera Rodriguez hit the takedown. So I like the underdog out the game. I'm going to take Ketlen Souza.
Yeah, I'm going to go Souza as well. This one was a bit of a toss-up for me, a lot closer than the 200 line that we're getting for it, which is good because we're on the plus side of it. Better striker, as Gumby said, much better striker. Both women have decent power, but Souza is definitely a better striker. She's okay with her takedown defense, 64% stuffing takedowns, but like Gumby said, Rodriguez doesn't really do a heck of a lot when she does take her opponents down.
She doesn't have a lot of takedowns against like women who you're like, oh, she took her down, whereas like, the takedown defense looks a little shoddy on Souza because she fought Angela Hill, she fought, like people like that and gives up takedowns to them. So, I kind of think she could stuff them.
Yeah. So I will go Souza as well. Like I said, it's we're getting 2 times our money for a fight, which I, think is a bit more of a toss up than the line is giving us. So we shall take advantage of that for sure. We are moving to a male fight. Oh, the joke, Felipe Bunes.
I was hoping you wouldn't remember, but I want to just point out real quickly to anybody.
I was just naming names.
The flyweight futures episode that Jeff was weighing on Felipe Bunes, possible champion at end of 2020.
That's such a lie. I was just reading names that were in front of me. Felipe Bunes is fighting against Rafael Estevam in a flyweight bout on his path to the title right here. Flyweight, as Gumby mentioned. We'll tell you about Bunes first. Filipino, little Philip, or little Philippe, I guess. 14-7. Philip, if he's French. Or Philippe, I guess is French as well. Little Philippe, 14-7, 3 knockouts, 9 submissions. I'm all flustered talking about this man and his cool hat that he wears. He's been knocked out once, submitted twice. 1-1 in the UFC, 3-1 over his last 4, 4-5 over his last 9. He won his last bout via submission. See, because I had faith in him. LFA,
Honest
former,
way.
that's why. Former LFA, I was the one that
Also, I think you picked against him in that fight after.
Oh, I probably did. I was just reading the names in the flyweight division. And then,
I'm gonna need somebody to go back to
the
the tape. I need somebody to go back to the tape on that one.
Go ahead, please. What do you super fans go back? We don't have an intern, so the intern will not. If we had a summer intern, Gumby, they would check it. All right, so he's the LFA champ. He's regional champ. Used to fight at 135 because every flyweight used to fight at 135. 2011 Pro MMA debut. Twice more active lightning strikes at Estevam. He's been outstruck, though, in the UFC by 3.37 strikes per minute. He's at plus 446. Estevam in Macapa. That's the area of Brazil. I assume he is from that area. He's 13-0, 4 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's 2-0 in the UFC. However, he's taking this fight on short notice. What was the original matchup? Do you remember?
Bunes and I don't remember.
Andrey Lima. There, I found it. So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the guy who got bit.
Yeah, right. He's getting a little harder of a fight here, I think. He's 1-0 contender series, Estevam. He's missed weight before. He's a regional champ. I think he missed weight like just recently too. Used to fight at 135, 2015 Pro MMA debut. An inch taller than Bunes, 7 years younger, better striking stats, better grappling stats. He's been outstruck though by his opponents by 0.88 strikes per minute, minus 455. Sorry, Felipe Bunes. I'm off the Felipe Bunes train. If ever was on one, even though this is short notice, it's levels. We're talking about levels here. Estevam is better all around, better striking, better grappling, and way younger. So give me Estevam. I really don't want to play minus 455 on a short notice guy, but I think he's going to win.
I think there's a better chance that Estevam misses weight badly enough to cancel the fight than him losing it. Like, honestly, I don't think there's very much chance he loses this. Like, Bunes' only win in the UFC did come over Jose Johnson, which is pretty legit. But he caught him in a submission, kind of cut them off balance. And, like, you ain't going to do that to Estevam. Like, Estevam is sharp as hell on the mat. Like, he is really good at jiu-jitsu. And not just good at jiu-jitsu either. Like, his wrestling game is pretty awesome. He's coming off of a fight where he had, like, 10 minutes of control time. I think people forget this dude beat Charles Johnson. Largely just by like wildly out grappling him in a way that we like really haven't seen happen to Johnson. So like I'm actually a lot higher than Estevam than I think a lot of people. I think negative 455 is probably priced appropriately, and maybe even if you worked it down into like what those odds actually mean, the percentage odds, like he's probably got less of a chance of winning this fight than that. So yeah, I'll take Estevam too. All
right. We are linking up on our plays through the first two. Another thing we agree on, MyBookie, because we are brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including MLB, WNBA, golf, and of course, football futures. MyBookie accepts customers for a ton of locations. They have easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. They have all these UFC lines we're talking about right now there, of course, as well. So when you head over there to MyBookie.ag, sign up with our code MMASGPN. That way you get a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. And you've heard us talk about Rhythm before, and they just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends, essentially the best of the best of what their house model has to offer. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. Think a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. MLB Power Trends are 254-147, which is a win rate of 63% and an ROI of 4.5% in their past 400 bets. And WNBA Power Trends are 35-20 since launch, which is a 63.64% win rate, 20.7% ROI. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. You know we will be. What have you learned on Power Trends recently, Gummy?
So I hit yesterday on Camila Cardoso. Some people, especially the books, were real low on her rebounding prop for last night. I think probably because Angel Reese was coming back and going to steal some of the rebounds. But I was seeing the number out there listed at 6.5. Some people getting a little fancy at 7.5. I'm like, she's good for double digits, and she went for 10. So make sure you're checking out Rhythm for that kind of insight.
See, it can make you a WNBA expert like Gumby. It made Gumby a WNBA expert, just like that. Another revenue stream for Gumby. Get your 7-day free trial today. sportsgamblingpockets.com/rhythm. Because you weren't betting, you weren't winning WNBA picks before this.
No,
right?
They had it. Kelsey Plum too on her assists last night. It was 5.5, and she had like 6 for like the last 3 weeks, and she went for 8. And I was like, I wouldn't know that without Rhythm.
Yeah, exactly. All right, RITHMM Rhythm. All right, we are going to a fight that just got made. It is featherweight. Austin Bashi, I want to call him John Yannis. They're both from the United States of America. I will tell you about Yannis first. He's an angel. You can call him Angel Yannis. 9-3 with 5 knockouts. He's been submitted once. This is a short notice UFC debut. Danger, danger, warning, warning. He's won 3 straight fights, though, all via TKO. That's impressive. He's a regional champ. He's fight at 135, 2 inches taller than Bashi, plus 625. Bashi is 13-1. I just said his name different ways, 2 different ways. 13-1, 3 knockouts, 5 submissions. He's never been finished. That makes him durable. He's 0-1 in the UFC. He did lose his last bout. He went 1-0 in Contender Series. He's got multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt, get a merch, get all the good stuff. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. He's fight at 135. He's 7 years younger than Yannis. He's at -585. This fight originally was supposed to be Bashi versus Francis Marshall, but now we got Yannis. All right, go ahead.
I'm going Bashi all the way here. Like, you know me. I
know you.
I love hyping up a guy who's on short notice and trying to buck your trend.
We just took one though. We can't go back to that.
I historically was in on Julius Walker when he lost that close split decision to Alonzo Menafield. But I like a debut guy too, where I can give you all the prospect information and why he has a chance and stuff like that. But the bottom line is that like Yannis is kind of like overperformed in my opinion on the regional scene. Like I think the accolades don't necessarily match what we've seen from performances, right? Because he's the Fury FC champ right now. Right. I'm probably relinquishing it to sign with the UFC here, but like he was the Fury FC champ coming into this fight. But like, go watch that fight. He fought Nick Aguirre. Remember, he was in the UFC for like a quick minute. Aguirre all over him with the grappling. Like, took him down multiple times, had his back, had him in trouble, and like, he got out of it enough and put together combinations. And I will say, his combinations are sharp, like real nice southpaw, puts together, he's never throwing just one, he's always putting stuff together. Like his striking's there, but he got taken down a bunch of times by Aguirre. And if you want to go back, he got beat by Gabriel Wanderlei by rear naked choke. Same kind of thing in that fight. Had a little issues with Dimas Chapa. Like there are plenty of times where you can point to, man, this guy's grappling is just like kind of not where it needs to be. And in my opinion, maybe not even where it needs to be, where I would trust him as the Fury FC champ, nearly dropping that fight to Aguirre. And now you're going to put him with Bashi, a guy who, if you can't grapple with him, he's just going to blanket you, right? Like I was on the C-Rod side last time against Bashi and it paid off because C-Rod can scramble with you. C-Rod can keep the cardio. C-Rod can keep the pace. I don't think Yannis can scramble with him. I don't think Yannis can keep his feet. If Bashi's smart, he takes him down in the first 6 seconds here, and it doesn't last a round. So yeah, I'll take Austin Bashi. Yeah,
too much for Yannis. Like we do have respect for Fury FC for sure.
I love Fury.
Very good feeder, but yeah, short notice against a guy who's probably a bad style matchup, even if he had a full camp. Probably doesn't add up to a win. So there you go. Gumby gassed him up to not take him, but hey. There you go. Now you know what he's good at if you want to take him yourself. Is this the middledweight fight that you were talking about?
This is the one where I'm like, oh, no. Actually, no.
No. Okay. Coming up.
This one's silly too, though.
This one is silly for sure. Roidolfo Vieira, Tresean Gore. So very distinct styles for both guys going up against each other. Yeah, Tresean Gore is still in the UFC. He's one of those guys like, oh, really? There's a lot of names like his, Trevin Giles, Tresean Gore, a lot of similar names in my book. And he's one of those guys you thought would have been cut by now. But anyhow, he's Mr. Vicious, Tresean Gore. Now that I just buried him, he's 5-3, 1 knockout, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, 2-3 in the UFC. He's won 2 of 3 and 2 of 5. TKO lost in his last bout, 2-0 in the Ultimate Fighter. Used to fight at 205. He's got 2 inches of reach on Vieira. He's 5 years younger. He's been outstruck in the UFC by 5.39 strikes per minute, plus 190. Yeah, this is not actually distinct style. See, I was getting all the similar names mixed up here. Yeah, Gore is Mr. Vicious, but he doesn't really strike. The black belt hunter is Vieira, 10-3, 1 knockout, 9 submissions. So he's finished everyone. He's been submitted himself once. 5-3 in the UFC. He's won 2 of 3, 3 of 6. Lost his last bout. Used to fight at 205. Here's his grappling record according to Wikipedia. 100-9-1 is what his record is. He's a multi-time world champion in BJJ, just like we were talking about Buchecha last week. He's got pretty much the same amount, I think, as Buchecha as well. Actual world level championships or gold medals. Striking, despite this, he's got better striking stats than Gore, and he's more active landing strikes than Gore, and he's been outstruck less than Gore. He's been outstruck by 1.07 strikes per minute, -200. Vieira is the pick here, obviously. Gore, really, I don't know if he's UFC level. I think he's one of those tough guys that, or it happens like a contender series too. Guys and gals get into the UFC too early. Like he wasn't really ready for the UFC. If he thinks he's going to grapple with Vieira, good luck with that. And at least according to the stats, Vieira could probably win a striking battle with him as well. So give me the black belt hunter here.
Yeah, Tresean Gore doesn't actually try to grapple on his own though. Like he has submission finishes, but there's a difference between like going after tons of grappling and just like it kind of came to you, right? Like because that win over Josh Fremd was just like a front headlock that he held on to and picked his head up and carried him around the ring. And so like I think in this fight, I actually think it's a lot closer than the way that you're framing it. Like Tresean Gore is super strong and kind of hard to get down in the first place. You know, his takedown defense is up in the 80s. And like, if Roidolfo Vieira can't get him down, like Roidolfo, his striking's getting better, but he doesn't have the like clear striking advantage here over Tresean Gore. Like this is a fight for Roidolfo. If he does not get him down, I think he's in a lot of trouble. Like I think he could suffer in this one. And you know, I think the pace from Roidolfo is important. He's clearly worked out those cardio issues he had in the Anthony Hernandez fight. And like, you know, he's slowly started to figure out that like, hey, he's got to have combinations and sharp jabs and stuff like that in order to open up his wrestling. I think he's gonna find a takedown in there, and I don't think it'll take much more than one for Roidolfo. But I will say, like, this is one that gave me a lot of pause. Like, I actually consider Tresean Gore quite a bit in this one. So I'm gonna go Vieira, but I'll throw a caveat in there. Like the strength of Gore worries me quite a bit.
Yeah, him gassing out will always be in my mind, regardless of how much he's improved since then. The thing is, he seems to be getting better. I don't know if the same can be said for Gore. Like, is Gore really improving?
I mean, I think the problem with Gore is just like he's learning on the job.
Yeah.
Right. Like, what was he, 3-0
on
the Ultimate
Fighter? He only has 8 fights now. Yeah, he's fought 5 times in the UFC.
Yeah.
Out of his 8 fights. Yeah.
And it's a learning on the job situation. And I would also just say too, like, you know, Carly Judici is doing that too, right? Mm-hmm. Like Carly Judici learned on the job, but when she learns on the job, it like she's putting together 15-minute fights and losing split decisions. He's like just grabbing onto Josh Fremd's head as hard as he can and being rewarded for it. Yeah. And like, I feel like there's like less push to make sure that you're evolving when you're doing stuff like that.
Yep, that's true. All right, we're on the same page again. We're going to be on the same page about Circa Million and Circa Survivor as well, because we want to win millions of dollars, just like the rest of you. The world's greatest sports book, which would be Circa Las Vegas, obviously, is hosting the world's biggest pro football contests. That would be Circa Million, Circa Survivor, and Circa Grandissimo, which is the funnest one to say, with over $21 million in guaranteed prizes. You can't call yourself a true degen if you're not competing in the Circa football contest. Plus, here's a bonus for you. Come hang out with SGPN at the Circa contest weekend, August 21st to 23rd, for an amazing weekend, including live shows and open bars. Plus, you get 15% off a stay at the Circa with promo code SGP15. Contests are open to everyone. Sign up in Nevada and play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. So go to footballcontest.com and use promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. And Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Underdog also is a great place to play Pick'em, where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Gummy's going to give us another gem, probably, that he found off of one of our other sponsors.
Yeah, and I gave out Chase Burns last time, and he went for another 10 strikeouts. Did you see that? He's now 3 straight starts with 10 strikeouts. Yep. Underdog, of course, had him listed at 5.5, which is silly. Another guy they got listed at 5.5 Wednesday night. We got Brian Wu starting for the Mariners. He's had 6 in back-to-back games. So give me the higher than on Brian Wu's strikeouts.
All right. So you got that. And I'll give you a code now. The code would be MMA SGPN. That way you get to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MMA SGPN. 2 fights left on the old prelims. We've got Japan versus England in the next one. Rinya Nakamura versus Nathan Fletcher. Guess who's from which country? I'll let you people guess. They're fighting at bantamweight. Fletcher, 9-2, 1 knockout, 7 submissions. He's been knocked out once. He's 1-1 in the UFC. He's gone 3-2 over his last 5. That would be loss, win, loss. He went 0-1 in the Ultimate Fighter. He used to fight 145. He's got 2 inches of reach advantage over Nakamura. He's 3 years younger. Better striking stats, more active landing strikes, and he's outstruck his opponents in the UFC by 1.74 strikes per minute. He's at plus 408. Hybrid Nakamura, 9-1, 5 knockouts, 1 submission. He's never been finished in a fight. 3-1 in the UFC. He did lose his last bout, though. He went 2-0 on the road to UFC, and it was the champion of his season. He also was a world champion junior wrestler. I think it was under 23 world championships he won in freestyle wrestling. He's, not surprisingly, better grappling stats than Fletcher. He's outstruck his opponents in the UFC by 1.4 strikes per minute. He's at minus 391, so another wide one for us.
This one, this is another tricky one for me. I pretty much went back-to-back on the Vieira Gore, and then this one on where I thought I should land, and I wound up landing on Nakamura, but man, do I not like it. The big reason for me is like he's so much better wrestling than Fletcher is. Like Fletcher wants to wrestle in pretty much all of his fights, right? Like that's the intention that he brings, but at the same time, like Nakamura is like an elite level wrestler, so I don't think he's gonna be able to dominate the position. The reason, though, I keep going back to like possibly considering Fletcher on this one is that like Nakamura fought so dumb in his last fight. Where were the takedowns? And I know he's fighting Muin Gaparov, who is a good wrestler in his own right, but like I would have liked some attempts, and it almost seemed like he didn't attempt it until it was too late. And so like for me, I worry about the fight IQ of Nakamura. I worry about his finishing ability, right? Like that Fernie Garcia fight, it really felt like he should have finished Fernie Garcia, and he just didn't at all. And so like, you know, obviously Fletcher's got the jiu-jitsu game that's tough, but like if he's going to be on the bottom the whole time, I worry about that. You know, Nakamura is clearly like trying to polish his striking, and possibly has done so more than Fletcher might have, especially because like that's all he wanted to do in the Gafarov fight. I could see this being like a fight that's like, it looks very one-sided. The skill levels are actually a lot closer than that, but I'm going to go with Nakamura. I just think the control is going to be too much.
Yeah, I am too. The wrestling over grappling pretty much all the time for me, and he's going to be the better wrestler here. And
he's shown no holes in his jiu-jitsu.
Right.
It's not like he's got bad jiu-jitsu.
Right. Yeah, he's pretty exciting prospect actually. Regardless of what happened in his last fight. So, all right, main event of the prelims: Nick Klein versus US versus Andrey Pulyaev from Russia. They're fighting at 185. Tell you about the American first. Blue collar Nick Klein, 6-2, 2 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. 0-1 in the UFC. He's won 3 of 5 TKO loss in his last bout. 1-0 on Contender Series. He used to fight at light heavyweight and heavyweight. He's been outstruck, but just barely in the UFC by 0.11 strikes per minute. That includes Contender Series. He's got better grappling stats than Pulyaev, plus 135. Pulyaev is 9-3, 5 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once. 0-1 in the UFC, 5-1 over his last 6. He did lose his last bout. 1-0 Contender Series, 3 inches taller, an inch of reach over Klein, 2 years younger, more active landing strikes than Klein. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.06 strikes per minute, minus 149. All right, wrap it up. I'll take a dog here. This one's pretty close. I will go with Klein. I like his resume a little bit better than Pulyev's. No shame in losing to Mansour Abdul Malik in his last bout. I think he's pretty good all around, and I think he's going to be the stronger fighter here because he used to fight up at friggin' heavyweight. For crying out loud, he may not be as long as Pulyaev, but he's going to be bigger, I believe. Give me the dog.
I'm going underdog too. I like his finishing instinct. That's the big piece for me. Is
5 out of 6 wins finish.
And he tagged Mansour Abdul Malik. People forget he won the first round against Mansour Abdul Malik on every judge's scorecards. It was the only round Mansour Abdul Malik had lost up to that point. And he did it with a right hand. And like for me, was it right hand or was it a knee? It might have been a knee if I'm remembering correctly now. But like he tagged Mansour Abdul Malik, and then you look at that fight on Contender Series, and I was a naysayer on him going into Contender Series. I remember vividly picking against him, being like, this guy's just like thinks he's got finishing instinct. He's going to fight a guy of a higher caliber and isn't going to do it. And he jumped on that rear naked choke with no hooks and just held on for dear life until the dude was done. Like that was an incredible win. And when you look at Pulyaev, like I really do think there's opportunity to finish him. He's kind of lazy. He comes forward with the leg kicks. It's a lot of open shots to be had. And then, like, you saw him kind of get controlled. Was it Liam Anderson he beat on Contender Series? Liam Anderson. And Liam Anderson, he's a 10th Planet guy. Just, like, kind of leaned on him and had some control time on him. And, like, ultimately Pulyev's kicks kind of won out the day. But, like, if those kicks are going to get him caught with counters or, possibly taken down here against Klein, I think there's lots of opportunity for Klein to finish it. So, yeah, give me Nick Klein.
Why do you think Pulyev's a favorite here?
Because his name's Russian.
For real?
Yeah,
I was
honestly,
just gonna joke that, but you think
I mean, like, if you've watched film on him, like, I don't think he's very good. If I'm being frank, you know, I am not impressed with Pulyaev, and I think I said that before he was on Contender Series. It's like I think I picked him against Liam Anderson, but it was just kind of because I was low on Liam Anderson's striking. And so like I've never really thought he was like some fun prospect, and Klein kind of proved me wrong in the exact opposite way. Is like he looks like he's got lots of finishing instinct. He's super fast. He trains with those guys in the Midwest. I'm gonna forget. It's like Zach Cummins and gang, right?
Oh, right. Yeah. I can't remember the name.
Pura Vida.
Okay.
I think he's a Pura Vida guy.
Cool. All right. So we're opening and closing with dogs here, and it was a team ride. Hopefully, all of you tag along as well, because we're good. We're like 63% a lifetime when we are agreeing on picks. All right. Let's recap: Klein, Nakamura, Vieira, Bashi, Estevam, and Souza. And I didn't even really know any of your picks heading in too. So we really did link up. All right. You are set for the first half of the UFC. The second half will be getting into your orifices tomorrow. In the meantime, we've been talking about this fight card and everything else in the Discord for a long time already. So that would be sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Where else can we be found? Of course, YouTube. Thank you everyone for continuing to subscribe and watching our videos and liking our videos. You can hit us up in the comments there. It's pretty comment section, pretty jumping as well. Of course, we are also on the old Twitter, SGPN MMA. Gumby runs that for us. He is at Gumby Relay, and I'm at Jeff Fox Writer. They are on Instagram. Get into my Substack. No UFC Pick'em this week. Pick'em will be back next week, but all my articles and the stats and stuff will still be running as per usual at moneymma.substack.com. Gumby's got another podcast. I listened to it this morning. It's called Top Turtle. Tell the people who is on it.
Yeah, we have a couple of Contender Series guys. Ty Miller, who's going to be fighting on the first episode, and then Damon Wilson, who's a former Cage Warriors title challenger, who's now fighting, I think that's week 3 or 4.
Both very good interviews. Damon Wilson's likable guy, I found.
He's very, super likable. The burger guy.
Yes, the burger guy. So good interviews. Check out Top Turtle. Of course, you can find all of our stuff at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Get your merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon to get some bonus content. We'll be back tomorrow. It'll be Mr. Vicious Jeff Fox, the black belt hunter, Gumby Vreeland, even though he's just a purple belt. We'll talk to you tomorrow.